The movie opens with a young man pretending he's on Mars while staring at the mirror. He talks as if he's sending information to Earth from Mars. The man's name's Alex McAllister. He's in his mid-20s, almost finishing his engineering degree, and living with his parents on their farm. Alex is handsome and smart, though he has a tendency of daydreaming that bothers his father and older sister. Every day, Alex trains hard, so that when the time for him to go to Mars arrives, he's prepared. He runs, exercises, and builds alternative means of producing food on another planet. His father, a stern farmer named Jeff, watches him doing all this with a scowl on his face. He doesn't approve of Alex's dreams of going to another planet. He thinks it's useless and a stupid idea. In turn, Alex's mother, Jane, is glad that her son has something to motivate him. Alex has been in a deep depression ever since his brother passed away. Training to go to Mars is what gets him out of bed every day. Alex is excited about the program he passed, to go to Mars with a private company. The objective of the one-way trip is to study Mars, and the possibility of human beings living there. Ever since he found out about the program, Alex started working hard to get a spot on the team. In the end, his efforts worked for him, because he was chosen, along with other people, to be part of the program. It's a dream come true for him. Prior to embarking on his journey to Mars, he must undergo an intensive 8-year training program with the company. Only then will he go to Mars, to never return. This audacious mission has piqued people's curiosity, as they want more information. A reporter arrives at Alex's home, seeking an interview with him and his family. Liz, his sister, is taken aback when she learns from their mother that her younger brother is genuinely considering a Mars expedition. It has transitioned from a distant fantasy to a tangible possibility. Alex and his brother always loved to learn about space and the universe. As kids, they pretended they were astronauts exploring different planets, far away from planet Earth. When they grew up, being an astronaut became an improbable dream. Alex moved on from it and started studying engineering. His brother didn't. After the accident where his brother passed away, Alex was filled with guilt and depression. Not only did he lose his brother, but also his best friend. To honor his brother's dreams, he made the resolute decision to go on a journey to Mars, aiming to fulfill their childhood aspirations. When Liz sees the reporters in their house, she's embarrassed by her brother. She questions their parents as to why they let him do something like that. Jeff secretly agrees with her, but he refrains from saying anything. As for Jane, she defends Alex by saying that as long as he's happy and not depressed, she doesn't care what he does. The family doesn't really know about the mission and what it entails. They only find out after the interview airs. Jane is shaken when she finds out that it's a one-way trip. If Alex goes, she will never see her boy again. She'll lose 2 children at once. After the interview, everyone in their town knows about Alex's trip. As he walks around town, people comment on it. While he's talking to a group of older men, some kids playing throw marshmallows at him. Alex is used to the kids' antics, so he doesn't mind. The girl passing right by him does. The marshmallows hit her, and she blames Alex. When Alex turns to look at her, he's speechless for a moment. The girl is very pretty, and about his age. He fumbles to explain why there are marshmallows all over her, and even takes one out of her hair. The girl is surprised by his forward gesture, but thanks him anyway. Alex stares at her momentarily as she goes away, and the older men laugh at him. He goes back to the farm to help his father out. Jeff wants Alex to take over the farm when he's too old to work. He hates the fact that Alex is giving up everything to play pretend with the mission to Mars. Alex knows his father isn't happy, but for once he doesn't care. He wants to do what he thinks is right, and he's excited about it. Later on, Alex talks to a man on Skype about the mission. The man was also chosen to go, and he's excited about it too. It feels nice to share his dream with someone who won't judge him for it. After they talk, Alex stares at a picture of him and his brother when they were kids. They are dressed as astronauts, and he feels as if he's finally fulfilling his brother's dream. The following day, Alex goes to an insurance agency to get life insurance before his mission. There, he meets the pretty girl from before, and she finally introduces herself. Her name's Daisy, and she's the niece of the agency's owner. She's also the one who is going to sell him the insurance. They go to her office, and he explains to her what he wants. When he mentions Mars, she thinks he's joking. There's no way anyone would go to Mars, after all, it's an inhospitable planet. Alex is serious while she chuckles, but her smile fades away when she realizes he's being serious. She can't believe it. Alex is used to people's reactions to his occupation. As he completes the forms needed for the insurance, Daisy subtly watches him with interest. Alex is good-looking and cute. She also admires him for doing what he wants to do, no matter what people think. She jokes about loving being an insurance salesperson when he asks why she moved to town. But Alex only watches her with a confused expression. She quickly explains that she wanted to be a swimmer, but she wasn't successful. After completing the forms, they leave the agency together. Before Alex can head home, though, Daisy inquires about his plans for the rest of the day, contemplating the idea of asking him out. Alex is socially awkward, and has no idea that a girl like her wants to ask him out. He honestly replies that he's going to study Martian soil, then bids her goodbye. It's Daisy's turn to watch him leave with a look of befuddlement. She thought for sure he would understand she wanted to go out with him. Now she doesn't know whether he likes her or not. Her uncle approaches her, and they both watch Alex interacting with the neighborhood kids. Daisy wonders if Alex is always awkward, and her uncle informs her that he's an odd guy. He also informs her that they will take his insurance request into careful consideration, even if it sounds crazy. Daisy eagerly agrees to look into it and do his interviews. Back at Alex's home, it's possible to see that his family is a mess. His parents aren't happy, though they don't talk about their grief and sadness to anyone, not even each other. His sister thinks he's crazy. As for Alex, he keeps remembering his brother, but it doesn't make him so sad anymore. It makes him eager to go to Mars. The next day, Daisy goes to Alex's farm to interview him. She's amazed by the beauty of the place. Jane happily takes her to see Alex, and he acts awkward again with her. First, when she asks him if there are any daisies on the farm, he replies that they are weeds, implying they aren't worth cultivating. Then, he says he has first aid training and needs to leave. He invites her to come with him, and she agrees. Alex soon regrets his choice of inviting her when he finds out the lesson is CPR. Daisy pretends to be drowning, and Alex has to resuscitate her. He doesn't know what to do. He does the exercise incorrectly, and Daisy offers to show him the right way. Alex is very nervous as she touches him to perform the exercise, but Daisy doesn't mention it. After the class, they go around the school and end up in the arts classroom. Alex wonders if Daisy still swims, but she says she never will again. She doesn't explain why she's so resolute. Alex thinks she should try. After all, life is all they have. For him, they should do what they want to do, even if it sounds crazy or absurd, as in his own case. He's learned that life is too brief to be afraid of living. Later on, Alex talks to his astronaut friend, Curtis, about Daisy. Curtis thinks he should give her a chance, since it's obvious he likes her. The next day, Liz has a serious talk with Jeff about selling the farm. She thinks her parents are getting too old to still be working, and they should retire. Jeff disagrees with her. Deep down, he still has hope that Alex will stop his nonsense of going to Mars and take over the family business. Liz doesn't think that will happen. She also can't stand being on the farm, not after her brother passed away. Everywhere she goes, she sees his ghost, and she knows that it isn't good for her parents or Alex. Still, Jeff refuses to sell the farm, no matter the value. No one believes in Alex, or what he wants to do. Everyone thinks he's crazy. He goes to his pediatrician to get the all clear from her, and she wonders about his mental health. Alex assures her that he's fine, but she doesn't believe him. She suggests he sees a psychologist, but he refuses. Later on, his mother and sister go to the school to watch Alex's presentation about space. Liz is impatient, and thinks that his presentation is irresponsible. She doesn't believe he's truly going to Mars, and it will put fantastic ideas into the kids' minds. Her mother disagrees. She's happy for Alex, and wants to fully support him. His presentation has a bad start, but Alex quickly finds out a way of making it more dynamic for the kids. Everyone has a great time, and instead of talking about his trip to Mars, he talks about the solar system. Daisy shows up and admires the way he explains things to the kids. After the presentation, they go out to have drinks and talk for hours. Daisy notices that Alex can only talk about space, so she comes up with a rule that whenever he talks about it, they drink. It's fun and sweet. They get to know each other better, and at the end of the night, Alex takes her home. Daisy resides on a construction site, and her house is not fully organized yet. Before he leaves, Alex awkwardly kisses Daisy, and they move into her bedroom. They sleep together and have a great time with each other. In the morning, while Daisy is still sleeping, Alex leaves the house without saying goodbye. He has training to do, but his mind isn't in the right place anymore. Daisy has changed something about him, something that he's not sure he enjoys. She doubts his choice of going to Mars. While he's trying hard to focus on his training, Liz tries to talk to Jeff about the company investing in the Mars trip. She thinks it's a scam. Jeff is also worried about his son and his commitment to the mission. He shows Liz everything that Alex is doing, and she's astounded by the amount of money and time he's spending on it. She thinks that, as a family, they need to do something about it. Jeff suggests talking to his doctor, and she agrees. His doctor informs them that Alex is not crazy. He's only coping with the loss of his brother in the best way he knows how. The mission has given him a purpose. She thinks he's only grieving in a different way from them. She also calls out Liz because she talks about Alex, but she also has her own issues. She's a workaholic, addicted to her cell phone. Properly chastised, Liz and Jeff don't know what to do to help Alex. Meanwhile, Daisy shows up at Alex's first aid training to help him out again. She isn't happy that he sneaked out of her house without saying anything. But that's Alex. He's socially awkward and hates confrontation. She thinks that their night doesn't need to mean anything, and they can be friends. It works great for Alex. After that, Daisy starts helping Alex out with his training, and they hang out more together. Liz also has her own mission of helping out at the farm. One day, Daisy and Alex go to the woods to watch fireflies, and Alex explains to her that his relationship with his family isn't great anymore. They used to be very close, but when his brother passed away, things changed. He also explains that his brother saved his life. While he's talking about Thomas, he gets choked up. It's still difficult to let go of the guilt that haunts Alex every day. He thinks he shouldn't have survived, and that if it wasn't for him, Thomas would still be alive. Daisy changes the subject when it gets too personal, and they watch the fireflies lightening the woods around them. Without thinking about what she's saying, Daisy wonders how Alex can give up the amazing things on Earth to go to Mars. Her saying that strikes a chord with Alex. He suddenly isn't as sure as he was before about the mission. He goes to a place where he and his brother used to hang out and pretend to be astronauts to look at the stars. There, he questions his existence and his purpose. Daisy goes to Alex's farm, and he shows her and Dmitri how the machine he invented works. It's a machine to grow seeds while on Mars. Daisy thinks his idea is so good that he should try and sell it, but he doesn't want to. He wants it to work on Mars, and that's it. Daisy and Dmitri exchange worried glances. Later on, they all have dinner together. Alex's mother is very happy that he's hanging out with Daisy, especially because he doesn't have many friends. Liz, on the other hand, starts interrogating Daisy about being an investigative reporter. Daisy denies it, but Liz is skeptical. After that, things get weird. Daisy asks about Thomas, and Jane's eyes immediately fill with tears. It's still hard to talk about him. Daisy backpedals, and Jane changes the subject, but things are too awkward. The following day, Alex helps his father with the farm. Jeff tries to breach the subject of handing the farm over to Alex, but he won't hear it. He is sure he's going to Mars, and he won't waste his time on the farm. His father thinks he's being unreasonable, but Alex is resolute. He leaves after their brief argument, and a reporter approaches him. He asks Alex to talk about the Mars scam, which makes Alex mad. He's in denial, but decides to give the man an interview. The gossip of the moment is that the company and the mission are all a scam. Daisy's uncle informs her that he doesn't want her to spend so much time with Alex, because he's odd. His frequent interviews about going to Mars don't help his image in his hometown. People think he's delusional. Jeff reads his interview, and it's worse than he thought. Alex mentions the farm and their names to the reporter. When he goes home to confront Alex, Liz gets in the middle of the argument, because she's mad at Alex. She thinks he's only doing it because he can't bear the thought of living without Thomas. He's feeling so much guilt that he's planning on going on a mission that could end his life. Jane finally realizes the severity of the situation. She thought Alex was only coping with Thomas's passing away, but now she understands that isn't it. She regrets encouraging and defending him. Jeff argues with Alex that he won't hear any more talks of Mars and missions in his house. Jane starts crying when everyone fights. It breaks her heart to see her family like this. Alex leaves the house in a rush, angry at his father and sister. They keep judging him, not realizing that they aren't facing their own issues either. He thinks they are hypocrites. Alex goes to Daisy's place and invites her to go somewhere with him. He takes her to the beach, and she's amazed. Alex explains to her that the reason why he brought her there is because he knows she misses swimming. Daisy is touched by this thoughtfulness. She quickly takes off her clothes and goes to the ocean. Alex goes with her, and they lie down on the sand to feel the ocean waves wash over them. They have a lot of fun together, and Alex forgets his argument with his family for a moment. With Daisy, all his problems seem to go away. Her smile brightens his day and warms his heart. With her, he doesn't feel so lonely and adrift. After the beach, they go to Curtis's place, and there's a party going on. Alex has never met Curtis face to face before. He's very surprised to find out that Curtis has 3 kids and a wife. The man seems strange, and it's weird that he wants to leave his family to go to space. Daisy quickly understands what's going on when Curtis takes them to his man cave. It's obvious to her that Curtis only wants to escape his reality, and he thinks going to Mars is the right way to do it. Alex doesn't notice it right away, though. After they leave the party, Daisy suddenly confesses to Alex that she cheated on swimming. She took a supplement during a competition, and she was found out. Her family was so ashamed of her that Daisy had to leave her city. She admits it to Alex because she doesn't want him to make the same mistake that she did. She doesn't want him to take the easy way out. After knowing him for weeks, Daisy finally understands that Alex is hurting. He doesn't talk about it, but she knows. She suggests that he should stop trying to run away and start living a real life. Thinking in conjectures and what-ifs is not good for anyone, not when it hinders his present. This mission has made Alex drift away from his family, friends, and everyone he cares about. Daisy doesn't want the same to happen with her. Alex doesn't like to be confronted. Deep down, he knows what he's doing. That's why, at times, he seems so conflicted. At the same time, he feels that if he doesn't do it for Thomas, he's betraying his brother's memory. He knows that if Thomas was alive, he would be trying to go on this mission. Between the two of them, he was always the most imaginative one. Alex doesn't know what to do. In his moment of anger and confusion, he snaps at Daisy that he doesn't want advice from a cheater running from her shame. His words hurt Daisy, and she leaves him alone there. Meanwhile, Liz goes out with Dmitri to a baseball training court. It was Dmitri's idea for her to take her anger out somewhere. As she beats the balls, she complains about Thomas and how he left her in charge of their crazy family. Liz is hurting too, but like Alex, she prefers to hide her real feelings and cope with work. Alex has to sleep at Curtis's house, and he gives him a lift the next day. Jane waited all night long for him to show up, and he feels guilty. He's tired of carrying the weight of his brother's shadow on his back, so he lashes out. He blurts out to Jane that it isn't his job to make her feel better. It isn't fair to his mother, who is always there supporting him. Jane finally snaps. She hugs him and softly says that he can do whatever he wants. She doesn't care anymore. The whole family snaps after that. Alex can't concentrate on his future anymore because his present life is falling to pieces. Jeff sees his son raging and hurting, and it makes him angry too. He doesn't think it's fair that Thomas passed away the way he did. Jane's the only one who seems alright. She sees Jeff taking his anger out on a couple of stumps and approaches him. Jeff starts crying, thinking about Thomas and how much he loved him. In the evening, Liz goes after Alex to the place where they used to play as kids. It's peaceful and quiet. It's there, under the stars, that they talk about Thomas for the first time after the accident. They share memories of their older brother and how great he was. Thomas was good at everything he set his mind to. While Liz and Alex were anxious kids, they looked up to him. Losing him was hard because they suddenly realized he was the heart of the family. They all drifted away after his passing, each one of them doing something different to cope. Liz tells Alex that she didn't want to come back home because he reminded her of Thomas. It was painful for her. She kept imagining Alex passing away too. Alex admits that he imagined the same with her, and it hurt more than he could think. Liz starts crying about Thomas, and Alex comforts her. Now, they can finally move on. Liz has also decided that she wants to stay on the farm to care for it. Despite her obnoxious complaints about it, she loves flowers and knows everything there is to know about them. Jeff is proud of her, and he never would have thought that she would change her mind. Alex also changes his mind about the mission in Mars. He wakes up feeling that it's time to let go of his guilt. He takes all his space-themed toys to the neighborhood kids and plays with them, like he used to with Thomas. It's a lot of fun, and it reminds him that Thomas will always be with him in his memories. After that, Alex decides to try and fund his invention. He schedules an interview and informs his family. They are all happy that he's changed his mind. Dimitri points out that it was Daisy's idea, but Alex says he doesn't remember her saying that. The truth is that he's still sore and embarrassed about their argument. Later on, as he's talking to Dimitri, he decides he has to apologize to her and mend things between them. He really likes her, and now that he's given up going to Mars, it might be good to have a girlfriend. With Liz's help, he manages to get Daisy on the farm. He prepares a patch on the farm filled with daisy seeds. He apologizes for the way he behaved and explains why Mars was so important to him. He felt as if he could control his life there and that he wouldn't see his loved ones going away. Thomas's passing traumatized his whole family, but after talking, they realize that there's no point in being afraid. Daisy accepts his apology and asks about the mission. Alex cornily tells her that he won't go anymore because there are no daisies on Mars. They finally kiss, sealing away Alex's fear and opening the door to a new adventure for him. With Daisy by his side, life on Earth doesn't seem so bad anymore.